I'm James Swanwick. This is the Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Podcast, where you learn to live a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness.
When I was a Hollywood correspondent back in the 2000s, I interviewed the actor Bradley Cooper when he was promoting the film The Hangover. And I interviewed him in 2009. It was at a hotel called the SLS Beverly Hills Hotel. In fact, it was, I think it was a Saturday afternoon, if I recall correctly. I was living in Hollywood, California. I was interviewing movie stars as a entertainment correspondent, and my interviews were being published in magazines and newspapers all over the world. I did some TV crosses as well. But at that time, 2009, I was still a social drinker. I wasn't the James Swanwick today that hasn't had a drink since 2010, so I was still a year away from stopping drinking. And I found myself interviewing Bradley Cooper in this hotel. Now, this is before Bradley Cooper had hit it big. This was the first Hangover film, and nobody really knew how successful this film was going to be. Of course, it went on to be a massive, massive hit. But anyway, I'm sitting in this hotel suite at the SLS Hotel. I'm sitting down next to Bradley Cooper. I'm a social drinker at the time, and I asked him what his favorite drink was. And I thought that just asking him what his favorite drink was would be a great way to break the ice and build a common bond. But I was actually shocked by his response. He said to me, "My drinking days are gone. I certainly loved it more than anybody. In wintertime, I drank whiskey, and summertime, I drank gin." Now, I have to admit, when Cooper first told me that he didn't drink, my first reaction was, ugh, this isn't the type of guy I want to hang out with. Remember, this is the 2009 version of James, not the 2010 version that finally stopped drinking. Cooper's non-alcohol lifestyle seemed such an alien concept to me back then, and I kept thinking to myself, how could this guy possibly have fun? Before Bradley Cooper got his big breakthrough in The Hangover, you may recall he had smaller roles in films, including Failure to Launch and Wedding Crashers. Has anyone seen that movie, Wedding Crashers? It's a hilarious film with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, and Bradley Cooper plays kind of like the villain, the guy who's dating the Rachel McAdams character, who's actually a bit of a jerk and a bit of a cad. Anyway, I'm talking to Cooper, and he went on to tell me that when he decided to stop drinking, that's when his career skyrocketed. He said to me, quote, "I was doing these movies and I was sober. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually myself. And I don't have to put on this air to be somebody else. And this director or producer still wants to work with me? Oh, what the F is that all about? I was rediscovering myself and it was wonderful." That's a quote from Cooper. Now, as I'm recording this episode, I think Cooper's had about 3 Oscar nominations. I don't think he's actually won yet, but what was it? American Sniper. What was the other one? I'll Google it here while I'm doing this. Actually, I'm curious. I probably should know. Let me just Google how many Oscar nominations has Bradley Cooper had? Let's have a look. What comes up? 9 nominations. What the heck? 9? Jeez, I was way off. Best Actor for Silver Linings Playbook, he was nominated. American Hustle, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. American Sniper, nominated for Best Actor. Nominated for Best Actor in A Star Is Born. Yeah, crazy. And then there's a couple other things here where he wasn't acting in it, but he was, I think he was part of the production team in Joker, the movie Joker, that starred Joaquin Phoenix. I think he must have been one of the producers. Anyway, this is really only interesting to those who are interested in film, right? Let's move on. So why is it so hard for us to turn down alcohol, and why don't more people take a short break from it? Why is social drinking not even considered an issue until you finally realize that it is? Look, the non-alcoholic lifestyle has worked very well for Cooper. He's just gone on to great things professionally and in his personal life since he stopped drinking. So let's just consider evolution. Evolution has created a huge societal pressure to drink. So there's this common bond that makes us feel part of our tribe. And as social animals, we're evolved to depend on our tribes for our safety and survival. There's a world-leading authority on social neuroscience. His name's Matthew Lieberman. And he says that our need to connect with others is more fundamental than food and shelter. It's pretty crazy. Our need to connect with others is more fundamental than food and shelter. Socializing releases hormones including oxytocin, these MRI scans, and Lieberman found that our brains respond to social pain and pleasure as powerfully as physical pain and pleasure. So this explains why we often feel it's hard not to drink if our tribe drinks. In other words, we find it challenging not to drink if our friends and family are all drinking. One of the world's leading evolutionary psychologists, his name is Professor David Buss. I've met him several times over the years. Wonderful man. He wrote a great book called Evolutionary Psychology. It's probably the best book I've ever written. It's a huge, big textbook, actually. It's massive. It costs about $150 to buy it on Amazon. But he says that the fear of not fitting in is hardwired into our brains from when we roamed the land in tribes. And I recall him telling me, we fear our social status will fall if we don't conform to group norms. Tell your tribe that you're not drinking, and you're seemingly attacking the tribal unity. We fear being less desirable as a friend, coalition partner, and potential mate. But here's the thing. Losing social status within a tribe was a real danger for our ancestors, because if we had lower status back then within, say, what was ordinarily a 120-person strong tribe, then that affected our ability to mate. And if we couldn't mate, then we hit an evolutionary dead end. Another way of saying that is, well, if we couldn't attract the opposite sex and we couldn't procreate, then what use are we to the tribe? We're dead. But in today's world, that was back then certainly, but in today's world, tribes are everywhere. Tribes are all around us. And if you get kicked out of one tribe, then you can just simply join another. You can even start your own tribe online with a few mouse clicks, create a meetup group or join a Facebook group. In the case of our alcohol-free lifestyle community, obviously we've created our Project 90 program, our community, which helps people to stop drinking. That is you joining a tribe, because there are friendly tribes everywhere. I like to think of us as a friendly tribe. But remember, when tribes were roaming the world, and in our ancestors' time, if you got kicked out of a tribe, that was almost certain death. If you got banished from a tribe because you stole or you murdered or you did something bad, you broke the tribe rules, you were basically on your own. And that, now a bear is going to get you, or you're fending for yourself. You don't have that community to support you. Not instant death, but, a very, very socially isolated, very dangerous way to live out your days. So when I stopped drinking, did I fear being ostracized from my existing tribe? Hell yes, I did. But was I actually kicked out? No, I wasn't. In fact, nobody really cared when I stopped drinking. Yeah, a few people tried to slip vodka into my drink, which I've spoken about a couple times. Fun and to fit in. There's nothing wrong if you choose to be alcohol-free. And let me ask you this. Would you refuse to hang out with the 9-time nominated Oscar actor Bradley Cooper because he doesn't drink? I'm going to assume not. He seems a pretty fun, successful guy who's at the top of his game, at least professionally. Is Bradley Cooper dull and boring because he doesn't drink? Hell no. Am I dull and boring because I don't drink? Hell no. I drink water, ice, and fresh lime when socializing, and most of the time I feel like I'm having more fun than anyone. You don't need to be a sheep following the masses drinking alcohol just because everyone else is. You don't have to feel like a boring prude or a recovering alcoholic either. Bradley Cooper certainly doesn't. So let me outline 7 ways to socialize without drinking. Here are some practical ways that you can go out and have fun without drinking. Number 1 is, before you go out, just tell yourself that you will only drink water or soda water or juice or whatever you're going to drink, and you're going to have a fabulous time. I invite you not to tell yourself that you will not drink alcohol, because the mind will then focus on the alcohol. Rather, focus on what you will do. Do not focus on what you will not do. So let me just say that again. Instead of saying, don't drink tonight, don't drink tonight, I'm not going to drink tonight, do a flipperoonie and say to yourself, I'm only drinking soda water tonight. I'm only going to order a beautiful mocktail tonight, and so forth and so forth. Number 2, commit to having the most fun and being the most engaging person of anyone at the party or the social event. So don't give yourself an excuse to be dull just because you're not drinking. I get this a lot, actually. People who join us in our Project 90 experience, in the first week or two, they think that they're doing well in the sense that they haven't drunk. And they are doing well because they haven't drunk alcohol in 7 or 14 days. But they also say that they have been removing themselves from social situations where there's alcohol present. And I always say to them, no, I want you to run towards social events where there's no alcohol and practice being alcohol-free. The idea here is that you are still engaging in social situations and you're still attending events and you're still going about your life, but just being alcohol-free. The idea here is that you do not withdraw from society, hide yourself, lock yourself away, and try to avoid situations where there's drinking. No, I want you to run towards situations where there are people drinking and practice being alcohol-free, because what is the point of you saying, I'm not going to drink for 30 days, I'm not going to drink for 90 days, and depriving yourself of life's pleasures of interaction and socializing, if at the end of 90 days, you feel like you've just been in a prison and now you're like, oh, now it's time to get out again. And now you're just going to go right back to the same level of drinking that you always had. So don't give yourself an excuse to be dull just because you're not drinking. Commit by saying, I will have the most fun. I'm going to dance, smile, laugh, crack jokes. I'm going to be engaging. I always commit that I'm going to have the most fun before I go out. I always commit that I'm going to be engaged. I'm going to meet people, introduce myself, connect people. And even if you're the world's biggest introvert, because I realize that, I'm a natural extrovert with some introversion, but natural extrovert. I realize that for some people, getting out and about can feel energetically draining at times, being around with people. But even if you are going out and you're an introvert, still commit to having fun and to being as engaging as you can while drinking soda water, ice, and a piece of lime. Especially if you're more introverted, just focus on asking meaningful questions and listen. You don't need the alcohol to loosen up. You just get to loosen up. And you can loosen up without the alcohol. Look, sometimes I'm going out to these events. I remember in the around 2015, 2016, I was living in Hollywood and I was going to a lot of Hollywood Hills parties, and I would have a fabulous time. And people would often be amazed when they would learn that I wasn't drinking alcohol. They'd be like, what is going on? How do you do this? Because I was at these Hollywood Hills parties with open bars. I remember I was at the Playboy Mansion, and of course it's open bar there and open booze, and it's kind of like the most hedonistic place on earth. And I'm just ordering a soda water ice and a piece of lime, and I'm like, awesome, I'm having a great time, this is wonderful, I'm in the Playboy Mansion. I saw lots of other people getting drunk and doing crazy things. And I was doing crazy things, but just no drugs, no alcohol. I was just enjoying myself, appreciating the fact that I was at this place and soaking it all in and just observing people and having a wonderful time, looking at a whole bunch of seemingly crazy people doing seemingly crazy things. And no one thought I was a killjoy. People didn't even realize I wasn't drinking. It's so simple. I think there's a video actually in one of the training videos in my Project 90 program is a selfie video I took at a Game of Thrones TV series launch party at the Hotel Roosevelt on Hollywood Boulevard opposite the Chinese Man Theater there about 4 or 5 years ago. I'll do some name dropping here. This is just a little casual flex. Elon Musk was there. I got a photo with him and had a very short chat with him about his favorite books. And, all the stars of that TV series were there, obviously. And, it was, I took a selfie video of me going up to the bar and ordering a soda water ice and a piece of lime. And there was a couple next to me who saw me filming and were amazed that I was only drinking soda water and not ordering free booze from the open bar. So our Project 90 clients get that video when they're inside of our group. But the point is that you can go to these amazing, extravagant events. And for you, it might not be a Hollywood party. For you, it might be, a work function. It might be a networking event. It could be anything like that. The point is, no one thinks I'm a killjoy when I go there, and no one's going to think you're a killjoy if you're having a good time being alcohol-free. You can do it. You just got to put yourself in your situation and follow the process.
Have you downloaded my free alcohol freedom formula yet? If not, you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/guide. You can download it. It will outline the same process that we walk our clients through in our flagship 90-day Stop Drinking program. You'll also get an email from me each day with tips and tricks to reduce or stop drinking, to improve your health, nutrition, mobility, and lots of other great mindset techniques. That's alcoholfreelifestyle.com/guide.
Number 3, whenever anyone asks you, if you want to drink or what you want to drink, just reply, yes, please. I'll have a soda, water, ice, and a piece of lime, thanks. That's it. Just have your answer ready. Have your response ready. That way you don't have to think. You know how Steve Jobs always used to wear the same clothes and Mark Zuckerberg wears the same clothes, and they say that they don't want to make any more decisions in their life. They don't want decision fatigue. They wear the same clothes every day so they don't have to think about it. Well, the same thing is that. Just in your mind, whenever anyone says, can I get you a drink, just say, yeah, soda, water, ice, and a piece of lime, or whatever your favorite drink is. That's it. Just have it burned into your brain so that when anyone asks you, it just becomes second nature. You just go, yeah, I'll take this, thanks. The end. Number 4, have answers ready for when people ask you why you aren't drinking. Because people will ask you, why aren't you drinking? So what's the right answer? Well, the right answer is whatever you feel the most comfortable saying, quite frankly. It doesn't really matter what you say. It really matters more how you say it. So an example of what you could say is, I'm just taking a break from alcohol for a while, or I'm not drinking tonight. I got to get up early in the morning, or I'm doing a detox, or I'm driving, or I'm good with water for now. But all of those things, you can say those in a way that's, leaving the person you're talking to feeling like they want to keep encouraging you to have a drink. Because if you say, gee, I'm taking a break from alcohol for a while, as opposed to, yeah, I'm just taking a break from alcohol for a while, there's a big difference there. In fact, a lot of body language experts say that it's really only less than 10% what we say when we're persuading people, and it's 90% how we say it. So again, it's not as important as what you say. What is more important is how you say it. And if someone sees you confident and assured that you're loving being alcohol-free, then no one's going to care. And if someone is insistent, you just smile and say, nah, I'm too strong in mind. You make a little joke. If you're with a group of friends who are buying rounds, politely tell them to exclude you from the round because you're only drinking water. And just make a joke about the fact that you're only drinking water. Say something like, whoa, I'm getting so drunk on this water tonight. Look out. I guess my invitation to you is just own your response, because when people see that you don't care, that you're not drinking and that you're confident and you can say this and share this with a cheeky little smile, no one can get to you. It's impossible for them to get to you. Number 5, you could trick people into thinking that you're drinking. Now, I don't recommend this because it means that you don't feel comfortable with people knowing that you're not drinking. I'd rather you just own it rather than try to trick people. Because, it's easy to trick people. You just get a soda, water, ice, and a piece of lime, and in a glass that would, ordinarily you might be drinking a vodka soda. Or if you're at a party where there's plastic cups, red plastic cups, just pour water and some lime into a plastic cup, and people won't really know that you're not drinking anything. But again, I don't recommend this. But if you do want to do this and you're insistent on doing this, then yeah, you can order sparkling water and lime and people will probably think it's vodka soda. Or you can order a Virgin Mary and people will think you're drinking a Bloody Mary. But, it can backfire. When I was 1 week into my initial 30-day challenge back in 2010, I thought I was only going to take 30 days off. I went out on a date with a woman named Andrea, and I went out to this bar called the Jones Bar on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood there, and I was so self-conscious about not drinking. And I arrived at the bar before my date, and I secretly asked the bartender not to put alcohol in my drink when I ordered a vodka and soda. That way my date would think that I was just drinking vodka soda. I mean, this is how insecure I was about this. And I got away with it, quite frankly, for at least for a couple of weeks, because I went out on a few more dates with Andrea, and then we went to the Coachella Music Festival outside of Palm Springs that year in 2010, and I was with her friends, and Andrea still didn't realize that I had stopped drinking. And one of her friends asked me if I wanted a drink, and I said, no, I don't drink. And Andrea overheard this and said, yeah, you do. You were drinking. On our first date, you were drinking. And then there was I had this long, awkward pause. And I was like, no, I wasn't drinking. I was actually only drinking soda water and lime. I was quite sheepish as I said this. And she said, what? So you pretended to drink vodka soda? And I said, yeah. And for the next 2 hours, she was really annoyed with me. And I don't blame her, rightly so, because I had misled her. I'd betrayed her trust. The relationship didn't go much further after that. So I share this as a cautionary tale. Be warned about tricking people because they don't like it. And if you're confident about not drinking, then you won't feel the need to trick people anyway. Number 6, make a plan to do something early the next morning. This is a huge one. If you don't want to stay out late or you don't want to, drink, then just make a plan to get up early in the morning and go hiking, do something, get a good night's sleep, because you're not going to want to do that if you're having a couple of drinks the night before, because I always wake up feeling the way that nature intended me to wake up. Number 7, become genuinely interested in other people. Engage people in conversation. Ask great questions, including, tell me about yourself or tell me more. Learn the skill of connecting with people on a deeper, less trivial level. I mean, I like to take a genuine interest in other people. I'm not relying on the crutch of alcohol to loosen up and to feel free just to get into a conversation. I'm just relying on people's skills, self-assurance, and confidence. A great question I like to ask people is, what's your story? Tell me about yourself. Because then the conversation can go anywhere from there, and people love talking about themselves. And then listen intently and be genuinely interested by what the person's sharing with you. Pick up on something that someone has said and then say, that sounds interesting, tell me more. Tell me more are a great 3 words to make people feel heard and appreciated, because you're expressing a genuine interest. Hey, tell me more about that. Tell me more. So yeah, just to wrap this up, never apologize for not drinking alcohol.